Alright, picture this. Rachel Zegler, Disney's chosen Snow White, just woke up to find herself in the crosshairs of South Park, again. And this time, it's not just a light jab. It's a full-scale satirical takedown of everything this upcoming Snow White remake has come to represent. But before we dive into the animated chaos, let's talk about why this movie has been surrounded by so much controversy long before even reaching theaters. From the moment Rachel Zegler was cast, debates erupted. The classic fairy tale describes Snow White as having skin as white as snow. Suddenly, Disney cast a Latina actress in the role. That single decision sparked months of online arguments, think pieces, and heated debates across social media. And the casting wasn't the only change. The story itself? Completely rewritten. Gone is the prince, gone is true love's kiss, and gone is any sort of romance subplot. Instead, we're told to expect a fiercely independent Snow White leading some kind of revolution. And it didn't stop there. The iconic 7 dwarfs? Completely reimagined. Disney claimed they wanted to avoid stereotypes, so they scrapped the original concept altogether. What we ended up with didn't really feel like a remake, it felt like an entirely new movie that just borrowed a familiar name. Zegler herself didn't do much to calm the backlash either. In interviews, she doubled down, calling the original 1937 film outdated, weird, even problematic. She joked on set about not liking apple-flavored snacks, comments that, to fans, came across as petty and dismissive. Soon, people weren't just questioning Disney's choices, they were questioning whether Zegler even respected the story she was supposed to bring to life. Enter South Park. If there's one show that never misses an opportunity to roast Hollywood, it's this one. And the Snow White situation was practically a feast. Their episode Into the Panderverse didn't mention Rachel by name, but the satire was obvious. Cartman became a tough-talking female lead, Stan was given a new ethnicity, and Kenny and Butters were altered into exaggerated caricatures. It was hilarious, yes, but also uncomfortably close to reality. That's the power of South Park, making you laugh while forcing you to confront uncomfortable truths. And they didn't just poke fun at actors or characters, they targeted the studios. Disney, in particular. The message was clear, Hollywood isn't making these changes for genuine progress. They're doing it for image, while selling the same recycled stories. And let's be honest, it resonated. Audiences want better representation, yes, but lazy shortcuts like race-swapping classic characters without strong new storytelling just don't cut it. It feels like slapping a sticker on an old box and pretending it's new. Reportedly, Disney was not amused. Rumors suggest the studio even reached out to South Park's creators behind the scenes to complain. Imagine that, a billion-dollar company rattled by a cartoon filled with fart jokes and savage satire. This isn't the first time Disney has been in their crosshairs either. South Park has mocked everything from Frozen to Star Wars, even portraying Mickey Mouse as a ruthless mob boss. But this Snow White parody hit differently, because it wasn't just about one movie, it was about a larger pattern. Endless reboots, race-swapping, and press tours that often feel like lectures instead of celebrations. And right at the center of it all stands Rachel Zegler, caught between rising star power and becoming the face of a much bigger debate. South Park's Panderverse storyline made its point loud and clear. Hollywood has become so obsessed with ticking diversity boxes that it's forgotten how to tell compelling stories. By reimagining their own characters as exaggerated versions of what progress is supposed to look like, the show highlighted just how absurd the industry has become. Cartman screaming empty slogans as a strong female lead, Stan turned into a forced ethnicity swap, Kenny and Butters rewritten with over-the-top traits. It was chaotic, ridiculous, and yet uncomfortably accurate. The real question wasn't just, look at these changes. It was, what are we actually gaining from this? Is this true inclusion, or just marketing dressed up as representation? Some viewers found the satire offensive or anti-woke, while others praised South Park for saying out loud what so many were thinking, that repackaging old characters under new identities isn't creativity. It's laziness. Real representation means building fresh worlds, creating new heroes, not repainting the classics with hashtags and buzzwords. Meanwhile, Rachel Zegler's own words only fueled the fire. Old interviews resurfaced where she flat out called the original film creepy and outdated. Or moments where she demanded streaming royalties for every hour the remake was watched online. While her point about fair pay was valid, many felt her delivery came off less like empowerment and more like entitlement. For millions who grew up loving Snow White, those comments felt like a slap in the face. Disney fans don't just see Snow White as another princess, they see her as a legacy. And now, many felt that legacy was being turned into a lecture dressed in glitter. The trailer didn't help either. Gone was the classic fairy tale magic. No prince. Dwarfs replaced. The story transformed into a vague narrative about a stolen throne and personal empowerment. While some viewers cheered for a modern twist, others felt betrayed, believing Disney had stripped away everything that made the story timeless. Once again, South Park capitalized, turning all of this controversy into comedic gold. Their satire didn't just roast Rachel or Disney, it exposed the system itself. A system that thrives on safe reboots and surface-level inclusivity instead of taking risks on original storytelling, and audiences got the message. Many laughed, but they also nodded, recognizing the truth. Hollywood doesn't seem to be listening to fans anymore. It's simply reacting, driven by algorithms and headlines. What made the episode sting even more was Disney's response, or lack thereof. Publicly, they stayed silent. But behind closed doors, rumors swirled that executives worried this parody could snowball into real financial damage. After all, Disney's remake machine has been running non-stop: The Lion King, Aladdin, Mulan, The Little Mermaid, and now Snow White. But with each release, audiences' patience wears thinner. When people start laughing at your formula, it's only a matter of time before they stop paying for it. That's what made South Park's satire dangerous. It didn't just make jokes, it broke the illusion. Suddenly, audiences could see the pattern: recycled stories, checkbox casting, and PR-friendly sound bites. What once felt magical now looks like pandering. And Rachel Zegler, whether she wanted to or not, became the face of it all. For a young actress still early in her career, that's a heavy burden. Some criticism against her was unfair, but some of it wasn't. Because when you inherit a role as iconic as Snow White, fans expect respect for its legacy, not casual dismissal. The truth is, audiences crave inclusion. They want diverse heroes and fresh voices, but what they want most of all is sincerity. They want stories made out of passion, not corporate algorithms. If Disney truly wanted to champion diversity, they could have created an entirely new Latina princess, a brand new world, and allowed Zegler to shine in a role that was hers alone. She could have built her own legacy instead of rewriting someone else's. But reboots are safer. Less risky. And so, studios keep repainting the same stories, hoping audiences won't notice the difference. Unfortunately for them, South Park noticed. And now, so has the audience, because when a cartoon ends up being the loudest voice of reason in Hollywood, you know something's gone very, very wrong.